let's talk some art. That's right. It's Rock Chalk Art Talk for the next 10 or 15 minutes with my dear friend Glenn Freeman, who heads up 3dsportsart.com. And at this point, these pictures have been around for a while. You can see them all over town. I imagine there are people out there that are still either A, wondering, how can I get one, or B, how the hell do they make these things? So let's talk about that and some other things. First, why don't you describe the art that we're talking about, these 3D beautiful art pieces?
Well, we worked for about a year and a half with KU Athletics to develop these 3D pictures. They're printed on a lenticular lens, which is
Come again?
A 3D lens. The lens itself takes the place of the necessity to wear 3D glasses. So as you can see, Sean, here in the studio, we have a couple of the pictures. You can see them in 3D with no glasses, and it's quite a process. So we worked, as I said, for about a year and a half with KU Athletics, gathering images, deciding what the layouts would be. We originally were going to do one piece, and there's so many KU legendary players and images to talk about because, my gosh, it all started here, that it morphed into a two-piece set, the Rock Chalk piece and the Payheed piece. And as you said, we started marketing them last year, and now this year we've come out with framed versions. We had a lot of people who requested the pictures pre-framed, so we came up with the framed versions for people to pick up now, so they don't have to take it to a framing shop to have it framed. They can just buy the pictures framed.
And I've seen both. I've seen them unframed, and that looks really cool.
Yeah.
It really classes it up when you put the frame around it.
Most people end up having them framed, and this way, if you want to give it as a gift, it's ready to give. You're not waiting 10 days to 2 weeks to have it framed, or you can ship it to somebody. We have it packaged now with corner protectors and plastic wrapped with our book that comes with it, which describes every image in the pictures, which, again, kudos to KU Athletics. They put together this book for us, and it really turns the pictures combined with the book into a history lesson about KU basketball, which is so fun to read about in the book, and it's so fun to match up the images on the pictures with the history behind every image, when the guys played, what their stats were, when their jerseys were retired.
And as I look at the pieces right here next to me, framed beautiful, it appears that it's mostly players. You look over there, and I see my good friend Bud Stallworth, and Russell Robinson looks pretty cool. I'm sorry, Thomas Robinson in 3D, and you got Cole Aldridge over there, and Paul Pierce, and Jacques Vaughn, and Wayne Simeon, Mario Chalmers, all these different guys right here. But it's not just the players. If I take a closer look at it, I see the national championship banners hanging up in the back. Which one is that I'm pointing to right now? Which of the two pictures is that one?
That is the Rock Chalk Jayhawk piece.
So the Rock Chalk piece has the 5 national championship banners hanging out.
Correct.
Which really pop out in 3D. How come some of them, you look at it and it appears to be almost a flat image, like when I take a look at like Rafe LaFrenz there, and then I take a look at, say, Bill Self, and it looks like he's sitting right there?
Because they're different depths, and that's what creates the 3D image.
Really cool, man.
Yeah, they're placed at different places. When our production people produce these, all of the images are placed in a little different position to create the depth that you see.
And on the Payheed piece in the background, you've got the national championship trophy. And one thing that it took me a while to notice, and I looked at this thing for hours and hours and hours, Allen Fieldhouse, in her beauty,
isn't that cool?
Is right there.
It goes all the way across the middle of the Payheed picture is the front of Allen Fieldhouse. And I think one of the coolest things about that piece also is, if you notice, Fog Allen's bronze statue, that really stands out.
That's the one that I end up staring at for hours upon end.
Yeah, everybody does.
That's crazy. All right, so I'm sure we're wetting some people's whistles here. Here's Glenn Freeman from 3dsportsart.com talking about the 2 Jayhawk pieces. We'll continue our conversation. First, tell the people, how can they get their hands on some of these things?
Okay. Go to 3dsportsart.com. And on our homepage, one of the reasons you asked me to come today is we are supporting Wayne Simeon and his 2 charities. And on our homepage, we have a special offer, internet only, $50 off each picture that you purchase, and 30% of all the proceeds go to benefit Wayne Simeon's charities, Call to Greatness and Family Promise of Lawrence.
I saw you last week at the Call to Greatness event, the free throw shooting contest.
Yes.
Be honest with me. What'd you think of my free throw
I'm
shooting?
telling you, I videoed it. It looked great,
All
man.
right.
I saw you hit 12 in a row. I was impressed. I thought, if some of our guys could do that, we may have gone a little farther.
That's what you told me right afterwards. That's a great point that you make, that if Nick Collison could only shoot as well as a sports machine, we've got another national championship banner. You literally have to reorganize these things. That's crazy. All right, so speaking of some of these images, in my opinion, I'm not going to ask you which one you like more, because I know these are both a labor of love for you.
They are.
But what are some of your favorite images on these pictures?
Well, I have to say that in my heart, my two favorite images are in the lower left-hand corner of each picture. The Pay Heed piece shows Max Falkenstein interviewing Clyde Lovellette in 1952.
Look at Max.
Yeah, look. Most people see that, they don't even know who he is. They don't.
Guy.
He was in his 20s then. And then in the rock chalk piece, we have Max in the same position, lower left corner, at his 60-year anniversary with the program, and the year he retired from the broadcast booth. But he's still with the program. He still does special projects with KU, and he helped us a lot with this. In fact, it was his idea to produce the accompanying booklet. We were reviewing the pictures before they went to print, and I was sitting there with Max, and he was telling stories about practically every image in here, because he goes so far back. In fact, no one's been associated with the program longer than Max Falkenstein. Nobody. And to hear him talk about his experience with these players going clear back, and coaches going clear back to Fog Allen, it's what I call goosebumpy. It is unbelievable. And that was quite an experience. And when we first introduced the pictures, Max and I presented a set of these to Jim Naismith, the grandson of James Naismith, and his wife Beverly, on center court in Allen Fieldhouse on ESPN College Game Day. That was quite an experience. So for me, that's my favorite. Those are my favorite two images. Although, you have to say, when you look at these things, you can, if you've been a KU basketball fan for as long as I have, 40 plus years, many of these images bring back great memories. That's the best thing about KU basketball. Every year we reload and continue the tradition.
A lot of the famous still shots that I can remember, some famous dunks I remember, and they're right there in 3D.
Yeah.
I mean, how unique is that?
Look at that Robinson slam, Thomas Robinson. That was the Baylor game a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It brought down the house.
It's crazy. It looks like his foot is literally coming out and about to kick me in my goatee.
Yeah.
Who do you think would like these? I know I would like these. I know Nick would like these, but who do you think would like these? Who? Obviously, the big Jayhawk fans. We got Mother's Day coming up, Father's Day. Who's going to want these on their wall?
Well, I tell you, if you're a KU basketball fan, or even just a basketball fan, or a history buff even, because, the history and tradition of KU basketball, it started here and it continues here. We've got the most number of consecutive years appearing in the NCAA tournament. We've got the Fog Allen and James Naismith, and the guys that came from there. Rupp came from here. He was coached by Naismith, went on to Kentucky. Dean Smith, Roy Williams is in here from his days.
So when you talk to people and you're selling these things, do most people say that they're putting them up in their man cave, or they're buying them for their kid, or they're buying them for their grandpa?
I've had people buying them. Some people buying for their office and their home. I've had a lot of birthday presents. People bought them for birthday. At Christmas and Mother's Day and Father's Day last year was a good period for us also. So I mean, and just as a gift for an avid KU fan. To put up at watch parties. We have a lot of friends who have watch parties at their homes,
and
they put these up every year.
People walk into to a house and they see this on the wall. Yeah. They generally don't ask questions about other things. The hi, how are you's over with, and you go, what is that, and where did you get it? Because there's really, you can see my office right now from the studio. Yeah. I've got pretty much every piece of Jayhawk memorabilia that you can have.
Yeah.
This is unique. These are the only ones. This is the only type of Jayhawk artwork like this that exists.
And
correct?
these will never be duplicated. It's a very limited edition, and we won't be printing any more of these. So for you people out there who are thinking about this, you might also want to think about it as an investment, because I think they'll do nothing but appreciate in value.
And again, before we get out of here, why don't you tell the people how they can pick them up? And again, if they want to get the discount going to Wayne Simeon's charities, how can they do that?
Okay, go to 3dsportsart.com, and on the homepage you'll scroll down and you'll see the logo for the Wayne Simeon special offer. Just click on that. It takes you right to the page. You can enter the promo code, which is right there, hashtag Charity Stripe. Get $50 off. 30% of the sales price goes to his charities. And you can also see them if you want to go see them. Go to 23rd Street Brewery. They've got 10 of them on display there. They have them on display at Kansas Sampler. They have them in the KU bookstore, Jocksnitch. So I encourage people to go take a look at them. The other cool thing that we've done, it's hard to see online what a 3D picture looks like.
Yeah.
So you don't know till you receive it. If you're not happy with it for any reason, we have a 60-day money-back guarantee. So there is no risk. If you're not fully satisfied, you got 60 days and we'll give you a full refund.
I can attest to what you just said about the 3D. Before I ever saw them for the first time in person, I saw it on the computer, and I thought, that's pretty cool. We'll bring the guy in and talk about it. And then you brought me in the pictures, and I went, oh, man, look at these things. I've never seen anything like it. So, like you said, you can go check them out online and at all those places here in town. Hopefully those will be flying off the shelves. I'm sure they will. Once somebody sees one of those, they got to get them. Glenn, great stuff today, my friend.
Thank you.
You got
for
it.
having us.